The shadows of Blackwood Hill. There are places that seem older than time itself. Where the earth holds memories it refuses to share, and the air whispers secrets only the lost can hear. Blackwood Hill is one of those places. For years, the small town of Densworth warned its children not to wander past the old mill road at night. Beyond it lay the woods that curled up the base of Blackwood Hill, dense, silent, and unforgiving. But one October evening, a young man named Adrian Cole ignored the warnings. He was a skeptic, a history student who loved nothing more than unraveling old myths. He believed that fear itself created legends, not the other way around. He would discover just how wrong he was. Adrian had spent weeks in Densworth, poring over its archives. The town's records told stories of strange vanishings, woodcutters, hunters, even travelers. All who entered Blackwood Hill after dusk simply never came back. Locals claimed the woods weren't empty, that they carried shadows of those who walked in before, shadows that learned to move on their own. The innkeeper warned in a hushed, trembling voice, "Don't follow the lights, boy. Don't look at the faces. And whatever you do, never answer if the trees call your name." Adrian laughed it off. He told himself it was just folklore, an old town's way of keeping kids from wandering too far. But her words stuck with him as the night he chose to test the legend drew near. It was close to midnight when Adrian packed his notebook, a flashlight, and an old tape recorder. The sky was a dull silver, the moon veiled in thin clouds, and the trees at the edge of Blackwood Hill seemed to lean forward like watchmen guarding a gate. The moment he stepped inside, the air grew colder. His flashlight beam stretched into the fog, but the woods seemed to swallow the light. Every step crunched louder than it should, echoing as though the forest itself were amplifying his presence. Day 1. Entered Blackwood at 11:43 p.m. Silence here is unnatural. No crickets, no owls, almost as if the forest is listening back. Adrian recorded steadily. Adrian walked deeper, and soon he noticed something strange, a faint glow flickering between the trees. It looked like lantern light. He followed, calling out, half hoping it was another traveler, half dreading it wasn't. But when he reached the clearing, the light vanished. Only a crooked tree stood there, its trunk split like a gaping mouth. Then, whispers, soft, indistinct, weaving through the branches. He spun around, flashlight shaking. No one. Nothing. When he played back the recorder, his heart stopped. Distorted voices whispered, "Adrian!" Adrian pushed forward, determined not to lose his nerve. He told himself it had to be the wind, the static. But the fog grew denser. Shapes began to form in the mist. Faces, dozens of them. Hollow eyes, pale features, mouths moving soundlessly. They drifted just beyond the reach of his flashlight. Adrian's breathing quickened. He gripped his recorder like a lifeline. Visual phenomenon. Possible pareidolia effect. Not real, Adrian said, shaking. A whisper came through the fog. "Adrian, come home." Panic rising, Adrian turned to leave, but the forest was no longer the same. The trail behind him had shifted. The trees seemed closer, their trunks twisted, roots curling like fingers across the soil. He walked fast, then faster. The forest followed. Branches creaked overhead as though bending toward him. Shadows slid across the ground, not matching the angle of his light. And then, footsteps behind him. He whipped around, shining the flashlight. Empty, but the footsteps continued, synchronized with his breathing, always just one pace behind. Through the thick fog, Adrian spotted a structure, a cabin, rotten and half buried in vines. Desperate, he pushed the door open. Inside, dust coated everything, and shattered glass crunched beneath his boots. Strange symbols were etched into the walls, spirals, handprints, faces carved into the wood. On the table lay an old journal, its pages yellowed. He opened it and froze. Every page was filled with a single phrase, over and over. Don't answer when the trees call your name. His blood ran cold. That same warning, but the last page. It had something different, scrawled violently in dark ink. If you hear your own voice, run. And then he heard it, his own voice. Day 1. Entered Blackwood at 11:43 p.m. An echoing voice outside the cabin said. It was Adrian's voice. His blood froze. It was his exact words, playing back, but no recorder was running. The voice was outside, repeating every note of fear he had spoken. Adrian backed into the corner, trembling. Then the doorknob began to turn. He shone his flashlight, and the beam caught something tall, wrong, standing in the doorway. It looked like him. Same face, same clothes, but its eyes were hollow, glowing faintly white. And then it smiled. Adrian's recorder clicked one last time before static swallowed it. It's not the shadows we see. It's the shadows that learn us. If anyone finds this, don't come looking. The hill doesn't let you leave. It only makes more of you. The recorder's voice faded in with its last words. Weeks later, hikers found Adrian's flashlight and notebook near the edge of Blackwood Hill. The last page was smeared, but one sentence could still be read. When you see yourself in the woods, it's already too late. And to this day, locals swear they hear footsteps in the forest when they walk alone. Sometimes, the footsteps follow you out, but the second you turn to look, there's nothing there. Cue final sound, a distorted echo of Adrian's voice whispering, "Come home," before silence.